Oh, wrong screen. There we go. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today, we got a little bit of a weird setup. I tried to get both of us in the same shot. We are going to go through this little first aid kit right here. I just bought this first aid kit, and the reason I got it is because I like the case. But I also got it because I want Lisa to sort of go through some of these supplies in it, and then we can talk about the pros and cons of the pre-made first aid kits. This one is not a cheap one. I would highly recommend you steer clear of any of the $10 first aid kits, right?
Yeah, I don't like the $10 first aid kits.
Yeah.
Hey, just to make sure you're not muted, right?
I am not muted, and I don't think you are muted.
Okay.
Everyone in the chat, let us know if Lisa's volume's the right level and all that. Hey, Lisa, Liberated Lady's here.
Hi, Liberated Lady.
Hey, everyone. How's it going? Melanie's here. Oops, chat jumped. Denise is here too. I saw her on the other channel. Ada Near, Southern Tier Prepper. How's it going, everyone? But at any rate, and I've also got, let me pull this back up. I've also got this little trauma kit. You being the Vanna White?
I'm being Vanna White.
This little trauma kit right here that it's basically a stop the bleed kit that I got and I put in here, and I haven't, this is what's going to go in my bug out bag, but I haven't quite it's still in the process of being completed. So,
well, I think you have to, that's with any first aid kit that you do, you have to kind of fine tune it for yourself and for what you're going to be using it for. So I think it's a continual work in progress.
Yeah. The other reason that I forgot to mention is that I wanted that kit too, the big one, is because you've got your monster kit, and it is a pain. It's like when you clean the house and I don't know where anything is because you super clean the house, whereas I just kind of clean the house. You clean the house and I don't know where anything is. In your first aid kit, there's so much stuff in there. It's daunting for me to even want to dig in there and find out where everything is. This thing is labeled. We can put it in the closet once I change parts out and everything. And it's a in-home or in the car first aid kit that is just the basic stuff, not all of your crazy wacky stuff that you have in your giant kit. Right? Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So at any rate, if you guys do have any questions in the chat, I'll try to pay attention. Maybe towards the end, we'll go through a question and answer thing. If you have any questions about different supplies, Lisa's an RN. So and I'm sure there's a few people in the chat as well that know their stuff too. But she's an RN, so she's got pretty good knowledge. She's got better knowledge than me on this stuff.
I have enough knowledge to be dangerous.
Yeah, a wound care nurse too. So
yes,
we are going to demonstrate a couple too. I've got a couple videos we did at the preparedness experience with stuffing. Hey, Kanzi, what's up, man? No, you got here just in time.
No, you should tell everybody what you were going to do this morning.
What was I going to do this morning?
You said that you were going to make the live stream. You're like, you know what? I think we should do it at 4.
Oh, change the time?
Yeah, after you told everybody it was going to be at 5. So, no, it was at 5.
Yes.
I just had to put that in.
Lisa shot that down. But I do have a couple videos of we were going to bring down a melon down here and then pack a bullet wound, like stab a melon, which sounds kind of fun, but I don't want to make a mess down here, and those are good to eat, so I don't want to waste it. But I do have a video of how to do it. We did it at the preparedness experience, so I'm going to play that as well. But we will be answering questions. Also, towards the end, Lisa, what do you have for tinfoil hat time? You're on here. We got to do tinfoil hat time.
Yeah, we have to do tinfoil hat time because I have something that I was learning about. And at first I was kind of like, that seems far-fetched. But now as each day is progressing, it seems it's more and more, it makes a lot of sense. So I have to talk about the avian flu or the bird flu.
The eating bugs, basically.
Eating bugs.
Making meat a bad thing.
And how this goes along with the bird flu.
Meat is dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Jam is here. What's going on, Jammer? All right. So what I want to do, I suppose I'll play those videos after we go through this first aid kit. So let's just throw this on the screen here, and I will watch the comments and stuff. Now, with this first aid kit, we've got this little one right here, and I'll let you go through the rest.
And was this a part of it? Did that come with it?
Yes, this came with it, and this is just a mini almost like a travel first aid kit.
It's a mini kit.
Yeah.
How can I show that I'm making sure that it's right side up?
Towards the camera over there.
Like that. Is
Yeah.
that right side up?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what is in this little kit? Can I take things out?
Yeah, you can take things out, open them up.
Sweet.
We've got to try to stay a little bit
Oh
organized.
my goodness, those are adorable.
Adorable scissors.
And they're like my bandage scissors because they have one of the teeth. Yeah, give me that. One of the teeth or blades is longer than the other one, which is really nice. This is like a Lister style bandage shear. I like those better than the EMT shears. That is flippin' adorable.
Actually, I gave you the piece of paper to use it to cut, but just take a gauze pad or something out of there.
Oh, they actually cut good. So, I can make paper dolls.
Take a gauze pad out of there.
I don't cut gauze though.
Oh, well, whatever you would cut, a bandage or something, just to see how they would.
Okay, so this is a conforming or conform bandage. It's rolled gauze. I don't really want to open that, but that's not bad. Don't open it. Don't open it.
Why? I want to see how this stuff is, what I need to replace and what I don't.
Well, you didn't need to replace that because this is actually similar to what I use every day. But this is nice gauze. It's got a little bit of stretch to it too. So you could actually put a little bit of compression if you were using something like this. So I would keep this even though it's open because I wouldn't think a lot of this stuff is sterile. I would think it's clean. So you could still use that.
Hey, real quick, Kanzi asked in the chat, he said, is a knife better than a pair of scissors once the scissors are damaged in the field? I mean, it would take a lot to damage them, right?
No, it wouldn't actually. But no, but having a knife, I think would be a good thing, but having lots of pair of scissors, then hopefully once you have one pair that goes bad, you can replace it. I love my scissors. Knives would be a good secondary choice for myself. I think it's different for everyone though.
Once your cute little scissors break,
yes.
Use the real ones?
I would have my real ones too. That's one thing I would add is a good pair of scissors for this kit. They do have the small Lister scissors too. I
assume these are the same quality as this, correct?
Well, these are EMT shears. So actually those are pretty nice. I'm not a huge fan of scissors like this.
Why is that?
I just don't like the way they work as much as the scissors that I use work. But so I wish I had some here to show you, but I have a big pair of these guys with that funny little end. And probably because I cut a lot of dressings off, I cut casts off of people's legs and stuff. And these are a little bit bulkier. And it's harder to get through all of that padding versus the Lister bandage shears do a much better job, for me anyway.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, can I continue?
Yes.
Okay. So I think this.
And let's not spend too much time on like everything. Just go through the main things you want to.
That's a CPR protector. So you put that. That's where you would blow in someone's mouth. You put this over their face, and you can do CPR. These things are really hard to blow into.
That protects yourself though, right?
Yeah, so this protects you. So, and it even look, it has the person's face on it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely am keeping that in there because I don't want any.
You don't want people puking in your mouth?
Yeah. If it was, yeah.
That'd be gross. No, thank you.
Especially strangers,
Yeah. What do we have here? Okay, so I thought it said a cocaine dressing.
That's the good stuff.
It's a combine dressing. So it looks like that's an ABD pad. And then 4x4 gauze.
I suppose we don't need to open the 4x4 or anything because that's basic.
What is this? Splinter probes.
What? I saw those.
I've never heard of a splinter probe.
Okay, then I'm going to ask the wrong person. I'm going to have to look up how those work.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Does anybody know what a splinter probe is?
Yeah, if you do, Kanzi said, what does ABD pad stand for?
ABD is like an abdominal pad, so it's a thicker cotton pad. Can I open that and show them?
Yeah.
I can replace it. So this is like a thicker pad you could put over if somebody had a heavily draining wound. These work really well. This is a nice sized one. They also have them where they like fold. So they have different sizes, but this is thicker than the gauze. So the gauze, the 4x4 gauze, and that's not even 4x4 gauze, but this is woven gauze. And they do make different types of gauze. They have woven gauze, and then they have, I can't think of what the other one is. I prefer the woven gauze. This is really good for packing a wound because you can open it up. You can get it wet, and then you can just pack that into a wound. I like that stuff.
Yeah, and we're going to show that here in a bit. Hey, real quick, I don't know. Here, I'm going to switch to this camera, and I am going to see if I can. This is the splinter thing. I don't know if that's going to focus on that or not. Come on, focus on that. Oh, come on. Okay, it's not going to do it. But anyway, I don't know if you can hold it close to that, but it's got a little tiny thing.
Oh, that's awesome. It's got like a little a nail or a tack
Go
on
ahead
the
and
end
show
of
it
it.
in that camera. So you pop off the end thing right here.
That's cool. Can you see that?
No, you can't really see it, but it's basically a needle.
That is so cool. You could do
But it's
like
super tiny.
You could poke somebody and do like little blood sugar things with that too. A glucose.
So that's interesting.
That's really cool.
I'll keep the other one in there.
Those are neat. Now we got to be careful with that because that's sharp and that would suck to step on it.
That's not that big. All right, moving along. That was a lot of time on a stupid little pin needle.
Hey, Kenzie knows what it is. Look at that. Splinter probes gently pulls and loosens splinters when they become embedded in the skin.
Pick out the splinter, Jammer said. Yeah. I was just wondering how this little thing worked. And then you just pop off the top right there, the little circle thing, and then it exposes.
That is really handy. I like that. This has some tape.
That looks like a dollar store sized roll of tape.
Yeah. I think it probably is. It's got some Band-Aids, some nitrile gloves, safety pins, and antiseptic towelettes. So those are like giant ones. Those are nice. That's not bad. A bad little kit. Oh, and it had some Q-tips in case you wanted to, I guess, clean your ears.
So it does have bandages?
Yeah, yeah. It had Band-Aids.
So you could...
Oh, put the little scissors back in, Theo.
I was going to take that from you and put it back together while you go through the other stuff.
All right.
I'll be Vanna White now.
All right. So this is so I can go through the big kit?
Yeah. Like I said, you don't have to go through everything, but get the things that you think are...
Oh, this has a CPR kit.
That you're wondering about quality and stuff.
Too. So it's got another one of those CPR masks, nitrile gloves, and antiseptic towelette, which is kind of cool. And it also has the ABCs or the adult CPR. So check for dangers, check response, send for help, clear and open the airway. So it's almost like little reminders of what to do in case you do have to do CPR, because that's really freaky when you have to do it and you're, oh my God, what do I do?
Yeah, those stressful situations.
Yeah, that's actually really nice. I like that.
In one of the videos I'm going to play here in a bit at the preparedness experience, where North American Rescue, we put on the preparedness experience with Brian Duff, and they put us through a stressful situation like that because your brain ceases to function properly in situations like that. So that's a great little thing.
Yeah, that's really nice. And it looks like it has like a loop on the back, so you could probably put it on a belt loop or something, or a
bug out bag, Molly compatible. Yep.
And then it has hypoallergenic adhesive tape,
which that looks like more than this little dollar store kit has.
Yeah, it's a big roll of paper tape, and it is.
Do you want to peel a little bit off and see what the quality is, or
paper tape's paper tape? I think
tape is tape. Okay.
Yeah, tape is tape. And it's put together on like a little not carabiner, but a little cord. That's really cool. And it has all of these different compartments. So we have wound dressings.
That's what I like about it is that it's got everything labeled. So if I need to, like any of the stuff we're taking out and using today, I
You
can
can replace
replace
it.
it, and I know what I need to replace. Yeah.
It has triangle bandages.
So even if this kit totally sucks, which it doesn't look like it does,
No, it's pretty good.
I can replace everything, and I know exactly what I need to replace. Real quick, while you're looking for the next thing, on Amazon is where I got this, and it's not cheap. Let me see if I can. $136 was this kit, but the reviews on Amazon are amazing. And I even, because I don't trust Amazon reviews all that. I mean, who knows? The reviews that I trust on Amazon are the guys that are EMTs, the guys that are police officers, the guys that would use something maybe not like this, but have experience with it. But the reviews are great, and I checked out other websites as well. And honestly, I was kind of wondering about Surviveware because that just sounds like one of those names that you just never know.
And that's what's on the outside of the pack. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually a really nice kit. It's 10D, whatever that's called. The outside is
Denier.
Yeah, 10 denier. It's a really well put together kit. So at any rate, what I like about it is the quality of the kit, the organization aspect of it. Like I said, with your kit, you know exactly where everything is.
But everything is put away nicely, as long as you put it away when you're done using it. But everything is labeled, and that is just really cool. That even where the safety pins are even labeled. What is that?
That's a whistle.
Oh, okay.
That is the one thing that I was wondering about, because this is supposedly for cars, for camping, things like that, right? Mm-hmm. But it didn't have a cat tourniquet. So I've got one on here.
In there, yeah.
It'll do basically, you would think that would be pretty important, is to have a tourniquet in there if this was in the field or something like that. You're looking for a hidden...
Yeah, you can even hide stuff in there.
Hey, that's cool.
Hidden compartment. Put your scissors in there.
I do want you to open up that sand or that splint, because I'm curious about that, because I like the sand splints. That is actually
really nice.
Need a knife?
No, I was reading it. It's 18 inches long. You can do a sugar tong splint, a C-curve splint. You could do an ankle stirrup, or a double layered wrist splint, which is really cool, because that's... Oh, be careful. I don't want to have to use this first aid kit on you. But
not my first time using a knife, Lisa. I open boxes all the time.
Amazon boxes.
Yeah.
that is really nice.
Is it Sam Splint quality nice?
I don't know, because I don't use Sam Splint, so I don't know what their quality is, but I mean, it's very conforming. You can do a lot with this splint. It
seems like it's the exact, what is it called? Surviveware 18-inch splint. So
that's actually really cool.
Yeah, it seems like exactly the same. I guess it's a matter of how long it holds up, because I've got one basically the same size in my bug out bag. Actually, it's a little bit bigger, but
what's really cool, I like...
You want to put it on me and show them how it works?
Yeah, but see, I like how this is, so you can do a sugar tong splint. And a sugar tong splint is like that, but that's pretty short. Oh, duh. Yeah, that's pretty short for a splint. But it would work, and it's going to give you some support. I'm not an expert on splinting. Compression wraps, I can.
Yeah, we're going to show that.
I can do that,
but it's pretty cool. It does show you some ideas anyway. Yeah. I think the main one would be, if your wrist is jacked or something like that, or I don't.
You're not in the picture.
I'm not in the picture.
Get in the picture, so Dale.
I'm too far away.
Or you could have really cool Wonder Woman bracelets.
Yeah. Okay.
See, that's like powerful.
You wouldn't think we'd have to keep the first aid kit away from the nurse, but you know what?
Yeah, you might. Okay, so this says this is a pressure bandage, so I'm assuming that means it's an ACE wrap.
battle dressing or just an ace wrap?
It just says pressure dressing, so you can apply pressure with it.
And we are going to open up this one in a bit too.
I don't like these little stays just because they're very, very sharp on the ends. So you could end up poking yourself when you're trying to take care of somebody. It does have some stretch to them, but I wish they didn't have those little teeth on them. I don't like the teeth. But this is a, what, 4-inch? Probably 4-inch wrap.
Does this one have Velcro? Is that what you're talking about?
This is Velcro, so I like Velcro better. But one thing to keep in mind too, when you are doing some sort of a wrap, that you do want to add some pressure, or you want to get some compression where you're going to have it like be tight on somebody. If you use a smaller ace wrap, you're going to get more compression versus if you use a larger one.
So what is this? Is that an actual battle dressing? Does it have no pad or anything?
No, it's an ace wrap.
It's just a big ace wrap.
Yeah. The quality isn't awesome, but if you wanted to wrap somebody's ankle or something, that wouldn't be bad.
While we're doing this, let me just open this battle dressing. This battle dressing, look at the date on that. It quote unquote expired in 2011.
2011? It was they said it was sterile until 2006.
So that's why I'm not worried about opening this up. So I just want to see how the quality of this is. And I also want to compare it to that, because just to show the differences.
Grab the scissors.
I forget that I'm not on freaking camera over here as I'm doing this crap. Here, I'll let you do it because you're on camera.
Now I don't have to clean up all the wrappers when we get done, do I?
No, there's a trash can back behind me.
That's no fun.
Oh, you are such a brat.
Okay, it says other side to wound. So does that mean that side? I get it. Oh, that's cool. That's really nice.
So that's a whole lot. Now it's a whole lot more expensive too, but it's got this just included, right? You can do this on your own.
Yeah, but this has a way to wrap it too.
Yeah, so that would be the end piece, and you wrap it around the...
Yes. The owie. The person.
Yeah.
This goes on the owie.
So, wrap me up.
Good Lord, you want me to do... I don't ever use these.
That's all right. It's easy. If you didn't throw that thing on the floor, you'd have the... Here, let me show you. You have pictures.
I have pictures. Okay.
Basically.
All right. So, number one, place the pad on the wound.
You're going to sit here and read while everybody's watching our show?
And wrap the elastic bandage around the limb. Okay. But I think it works better if it's wrapped up, because if I were to put this on somebody at work, I'd have to throw it away because it would have hit the floor. And it's much easier to wrap something when it's wrapped up.
And by the way, this expired bandage,
that's
bad, right?
No, expired bandage or not, I would totally use that.
That's why I haven't opened it, and that's why I still have it. So
okay, so your owie, where's your owie?
It's just on camera.
Okay.
And wrap that sucker as tight as you can.
Now, okay, this has got this little thing. Turn your hand over the other way. Do I go through that?
Yeah, the first one. That's what holds the tightness.
That's interesting. And then I go back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's sweet. Does that feel tight or not really?
Kind of. I mean, it's, you could probably go tighter, but I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, I'm getting wrinkles in this. I don't like wrinkles in my dressings, but.
Well, I'm dying, so.
Well, not anymore, because I just wrapped you up with this.
Yeah, but if you're worried about wrinkles while I'm dying.
But the wrinkles could cause a pressure wound later on.
Oh, that's true, huh?
Talking to a wound nurse here, dude.
Okay, and then the last little hitch, basically you have to hook it into.
To this. Oh. And then over here too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where is it? I can't see it. There it is.
Somewhere
There
right
it is.
here.
There it is. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so
Ta-da!
and I don't remember where my wound is. Actually, that is pretty tight because
Your fingers going numb a little?
Yeah, I can feel it. You can see the veins in my hand.
I could totally get. Oh my goodness, they're like bounding. I could freaking get blood out of you.
Okay, but a pressure dressing. Now, while we're doing this, and we'll go through some of the other parts of the kit later too. Let's show. Here, I can get that. Go ahead and get the supplies you would need to make your own pressure dressing if you don't have a battle dressing like this.
All right. So we have the little tiny ABD pad or abdominal pad. That would work good. You could use gauze and an ace wrap, but you need a lot of gauze. We don't have those big things of gauze down here, do we?
I've got compressed gauze, which is a whole lot of gauze, or this one right here. That's what I was going to use. We can open that because I was going to use that to show packing a bullet wound, but I've got a video to do that.
I'm just making a mess. I'm sorry.
Hey, real quick on that, the first clip, Jammer said the first clip allows you to add pressure to the wound and the rest just soaks up the blood.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
So you want that clip over the pad.
So basically this is like Kerlex bulky gauze.
Liberated Lady said dinner and a show. So this is not the one you would want, right?
Well, you could use that, but I want 4x4 gauze.
This is for packing a wound, right?
That is for wound packing, yes. But I mean, you could actually do it with anything. Even if you have this and some gauze.
Yeah, you don't.
And an ace wrap, you can fold this and make a compression dressing.
So go ahead and just demonstrate.
You don't have to do that with these. That's why I like these.
Oh, that's neat.
Isn't that fancy?
And I suppose it's so it's the same principle. You don't have the clips.
Yeah, but it's no clippies. It's just so like if the wound is on the back of his hand, you just really want to apply pressure.
And what Jammer was saying with that clip on the other one with that first thing, that's where you'd want it is on top of that wound.
On top of the wound.
Because as you wrap it, it's pushing down and it's on this gauze right here. So,
and then you could, if you wanted to say, we're just going to add one more. I mean, you don't want to cut off their circulation. The goal is just to get the bleeding to stop. So you don't necessarily have to make it tight with every turn, but just have it tight the first couple of turns. And again, using a smaller wrap like this, that's going to give you more compression. So you have to be careful that you don't get it too tight, because there goes Dale's veins again popping out. Yeah. So I think I got this one tighter than I was able to get the other one. What do you think?
I think the other one, well, they feel about the same. I think the other one was a little bit, because it was broader. Like it's not too tight right here, but it is right here. But either way.
Look at your veins popping out.
Yeah.
Let's draw some blood. Look at that. Oh, he's got good veins.
No poking Dale during the live stream.
Even though I don't think you should really be drawing blood in hands. It's because those veins pop. They're easier to break, and they're more painful when if you get an IV in your hand versus your arm, it's more painful.
Yeah. Okay, since we're doing this, and so what's the verdict on the first aid kit? Is it worth $130? Oh my gosh,
I think this kit is awesome, and I haven't even gone through it.
Yeah.
So I really like all of the labeling.
Oh, that feels better.
Sorry. But I love the labeling. You can totally put whatever you want into it. Pressure bandages for wounds, sprains, snake bites. Conforming gauze, so that's the little gauze. I don't know what I did with the little gauze.
I probably just threw it back over here. That?
No, it was the rolled gauze. So, but the conforming gauze is nice to have, and there's actually a lot in there, and that is, in my opinion, that's nice. Now it says wound dressing 15 large. So these might be the gauze.
What I wanted to do is
Sorry.
I wanted to do the since we just did the pressure dressings, I want to play this video of packing a bullet wound, because we basically did the second part of what this is.
Do it.
And then we can go through this kit right here. But I just wanted to say this is a pretty decent kit. I would recommend it. Go through the stuff, change things out. It's got triple antibiotic in there.
No, that's not triple antibiotic. It's
It's
a hydrogel. So this is kind of like what Silvasorb is, minus the silver.
Okay. If we have time later, I'll let you geek out on all this stuff.
This is so cool. I really like this.
But what I want to do is play, now that we did the pressure dressings, and Jammer had mentioned this the other day about maybe demonstrating packing a bullet wound, and we were gonna, but then I found an old video of the conference that we put on, Brian Duff and I, and we did it at North American Rescue. We put on the conference. North American Rescue did all the teaching and all that stuff.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see if I can get this. First, I'm going to play this is what the conference was all about. Like I said earlier, how they put us in a stressful situation. This shows you exactly what it was. It was a blast doing it. It's real. So if you get a chance to take a class like this, absolutely do it. But let me play this real quick. Add this to screen. Anthony. One-handed tourniquet application. That's pretty cool. All right, so if for those of you, when I put this as an audio podcast, you'll just have to come back and watch this. But it's just the event we put on. Kenzie said that scene with the people with the smoke and people lying down was cool. That was what they did. Remember, we were outside.
Well, you got to be outside.
You were setting up.
I was the camera person, so I didn't get to feel the shock and awe of everything.
Yeah, we were all just outside hanging out, and then bam!
Boom! Yeah, and then there was smoke, and then all of these people screaming.
Yeah, and we had to run in, and
it was really cool. It was very realistic. Yeah,
it was cool. But there was part of that video where I was packing the bullet wound. Oops, what did I do? Jammer said, I remember that video. And part of that video was packing the bullet wound. So I've got this other video I want to play that actually explains what the whole process is. And then we just did the pressure dressings, which is what you would do after doing something like this. Yeah. So let me go ahead and play this. Maybe. The Preparedness Experience Conference this year, we did a class on advanced hemorrhage control. And in that class, we talked about cat tourniquet usage. We talked about chest seals, pressure dressings, and wound packing, like we're going to talk about in this video here. Now, the process of wound packing is fairly simple, but it's really a, hands-on, get your hands dirty type situation. Before we even begin the process of packing the wound, though, we need to apply the tourniquet. And even before applying the tourniquet, you need to put direct pressure on that wound to kind of control the bleeding as much as possible. Now, you could use just your hand to put that direct pressure on there, But in order to have both hands free, if it's possible, they taught in the class to use your knee to put pressure on that as you apply that tourniquet. And as they taught in the class, the saying high or die, meaning put that tourniquet up as high as possible on that limb, just in case there's an injury that you don't see or something else that may spring a leak. After you put the tourniquet on, then you can start the process of actually packing that wound. In the trauma kits, they had the compressed gauze. And what you do basically is you just take the compressed gauze, which I believe is about 4 yards, and start stuffing it in there. And what you want to do before you start stuffing the gauze in there is try to find out where the leak is coming from. This is easier said than done sometimes, but if you can, that's where you want to start packing that wound. And what you do is you use one finger to apply that pressure in there as you're using the other hand to kind of keep packing that wound. You'll see in this video, there's always one finger in that wound, kind of putting pressure down on that wound. Now, this is just compressed gauze. There's also the quick clot or the Celox with those hemostatic agents that'll help that clotting process along. But once you start packing the wound and you get everything packed really tight, then you just apply pressure at the end. And this is where you would put on the pressure dressing, which we'll do in another video. Now, with this bottle they were using, he was squeezing it pretty tight. So you can see as you're packing this stuff in there that you'll be able to get, it depends on the wound, how much packing material and all that you need. But you'll be able to get that bleeding to stop. Gunshot wound or a laceration, a smaller laceration, something like that. The larger wounds may be a little more difficult and may require a whole lot more gauze and those hemostatic agents like the quick clot and the Celox. But that's it. It's a pretty simple process, packing a wound, but it does require, getting your hands in there and getting dirty and something that may make some people a little queasy. But like I said, this is a life-saving type technique in a situation nowadays, not necessarily an SHTF event. This could be something that actually saves somebody's life in, waiting for those first responders to get there. In an SHTF situation, same type of deal. It could be something that buys you time until you can get that person to somebody that can give them further care. So when I said find the leak, I didn't mean like the wound, like the vein inside the wound, right?
Yeah.
You got to find, and with that bottle, you were squeezing. That was you doing it and filming. You've got to get that to stop. That's why they had the bottle up there, just to simulate the blood flow. So you've got to get that blood flow to stop. It was pretty cool.
You did a really good job, by the way,
of packing the
bullet
wound.
Yeah, you did good.
I could do it.
But could you imagine if you were the person getting that packed into? That would hurt so bad.
Yeah, and it's kind of gross too because you're jamming your finger in the wound.
Oh no! What's grosser than that is, besides that you're like putting your finger into somebody's body, it's warm and the blood is warm
and sticky.
Yes, it's not sticky when it's like
when it connects with air.
Yeah, it's when But yeah, you feel that warmth of it, and it's like, oh, that's weird.
So Jammer said here, what's next after tourniquet, packing and wrapping? Praying,
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a tough one in an SHTF situation. You're looking for somebody that's got some sort of skills and because especially if you use quick clot, and Kenzie asked about quick clot versus Celox, and I'm not an expert on that. I choose Celox because the old version of quick clot used to burn.
And didn't it have something that people could be allergic to in it? I can't remember. No,
the Celox, which I've got in this kit right here. Well, here, let's just go through this. The Celox, let me get that off the screen. But anyway, yeah, Jammer, what's next is if you're in if it's a car crash or a wreck or something, you're just helping the EMTs out
until help gets there.
Yeah.
What does Kevin always call it, and Brian? Next level of care.
Yeah, next level care. Yep. So you can just move that here. I'll take it, and then you can open that sucker up. I have to remember. I have to remember that I'm not on camera. You are, so.
Well, this is good for me to open up because I've never been in any of these kits.
Now, this is basically, other than the Celox, this is basically what I got. Let me share this screen right here. This is what I got. It's a Stop the Bleed kit from Curaplex. And the reason I got this is because it actually had a cat tourniquet in it and a couple of other things. This is not part of that. This is something else.
Was this part of it?
This is not part of that.
Was that part of it?
These were part of it. Maybe I didn't put everything in here. We've got some gauze. Let me look at this little list here. Dum-da-dum-da-dum. Emergency bandage, 2 rolls of primed compressed gauze, a pair of gloves, a pair of trauma shears, permanent marker, and instructions. I don't know if I got the instructions in there. At any rate, I put a battle dressing in there. I put an emergency blanket in there. This is really old. And some Celox in there. These came with that. This came with that. And
are you going to show that, or are you going to keep the screen on?
Oh, I suppose so. Yeah.
Might as well, since you're talking about it.
And we can get that closer to that itch.
So those were the 2 packages of compressed gauze that came with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And first, real quick, before you get into that, the Celox is made with chitosan, and that is like a derivative of shellfish or something.
Oh.
And it doesn't, people that are allergic to shellfish, it doesn't react.
Okay.
It doesn't cause any problems.
I didn't know about these.
Yeah.
No.
And Kenzie was talking about in there, the military did stop using Quick Clot for some reason. I haven't researched it enough to know, but I know that I have less questions about Celox than I do Quick Clot, and me being not a professional, that's what I'm going with.
And what is nice about this is that this is gauze. So it's Z-folded gauze. So basically it's just folded gauze, but it's got the hemostatic agent in it. So even if you just put it like a little bit into the wound and then applied the pressure, it's got the hemostatic agent in it, and hopefully that would help it to clot off.
Yeah. These are expensive.
How much was this? Did you buy one?
Yeah, I just got one. They're expensive. I think that was like $30. Let me see. I would almost say, if I wasn't doing a video, or yeah. Let me see. Let me put up this screen right here. See what it is on Amazon. Celox, $39, $33, $43. It depends on the size too. These are probably smaller. These are granules. So it depends on the size, and Quick Clot is about the same. So you can, just from what we did earlier, it's not absolutely necessary all the time. You can have some of this stuff, but if you don't, I don't think it's the end of the world.
No, because if you have gauze, 4x4s, an ace wrap or vet wrap, you can do a pretty good pressure dressing. Now, if it's an arterial bleed, you're going to need a tourniquet.
Yeah. And one more thing, this is good till 28.
Okay. So it's got a little
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But they just, I mean, get your kit filled out first. And then if you got some extra, get some Celox. I think anyway.
So the tourniquet is attached to that?
Yeah. I just have it through through those. And this is an actual cat tourniquet that actually came in the kit. They do sell other types of tourniquets. I don't know what they are, but ever since, doing this stuff and listening to Brian Duff and North American Rescue, cat tourniquets for me is
that's
all
the only way to go.
Yeah, I think so. And that one isn't set up for the one-handed, I will set it up for the one-handed, being able to attach it one-handed where you just snap it open. But you want to...
No, because I haven't done this. This is good practice.
When you put a tourniquet on too, you're not being nice. Like with you, when you were talking about the pressure dressing, you need to crank that until it hurts like a mother. I mean, bad.
And you can even write down the time of when you put it on, so you know how long the tourniquet has been on.
Yeah, that's why the Sharpie's in there. So you apply the tourniquet We could. You want me to do it?
You do it. Do it, Dale.
I'm not gonna do it super tight on you. So
Oh wait,
basically,
let's do my uninjured arm.
all right. So basically, we're only gonna do it right here, but let me get this up where I can. That's not going to cooperate with me because I'm backwards, but all right. Going as tight as you possibly can. I'm not going to, though.
Go forward a little bit.
It's hard to see. I can't figure out what the hell I'm doing. Wait, I'm backwards now.
This is why you should always practice.
Yes. This is strange trying to get this. I'm gonna have to.
We need some Jeopardy music going.
Yeah, no kidding. Go through something else on there while I'm jacking around.
Okay. It also came with another pair of trauma shears, and these are they're kind of tight. So I don't know if that would make them better. They don't have all the serrations on like the other kit had, but they're pretty similar. They both have those plastic handles. These kind of this one, the one from the kit has serrated teeth on it. Whereas, oh no, this one does too, but it just feels a little bit smoother. But they are pretty much identical. Again, some people prefer the EMT shears. They're just not my first choice. So this kit, you already had this kit. This does not come with that Stop the Bleed.
No, this is a 511 pack that I got to put on my bug out bag.
Okay.
And it's a slimmer, smaller. I've got another trauma kit that is thicker and can carry more stuff. This is more slim design. I'm trying to find a comment. Somebody asked earlier. Aideneer asked any recommendations on kits from Walgreens or CVS. I've never bought one.
I haven't either.
But I would be very leery. Even Walmart, I would be.
I don't think they're horrible, and I think it's a good jumping off point because I think, in my opinion, any first aid kit that you get, you're going to customize it to what you want it to be. And a lot of times with the first aid kits that you can buy prepackaged, they have like 15,000 Band-Aids and they might have some gauze, but I think you need to have all of that bigger stuff in there. The Band-Aids are nice, but maybe have, a few Band-Aids instead of 1,000. I don't think there's anything wrong with buying a kit from Walgreens or CVS or Walmart, as long as you know how to use the supplies that are inside of it, and that you customize it to have the things in it that you will probably need in your household or in your car. Because I don't know if the Walgreens kits or like the retail kits have gloves in them, like the nitro gloves, but you can buy nitro gloves pretty much anywhere. So I would just go through the kit. Don't just have it and then like have it on the shelf. You need to practice with it and know what's inside of it. So that way you know where everything is.
I can't believe that tourniquet was baffling me. Something that I practiced on so many times. And anyway.
That's why we have to keep practicing with it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it every day, you're like, oh, what?
Well, and mine is set up for that one-handed thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm used to, I can make excuses all day long. David said in the chat with the quick clot, he said, I believe the quick clot causes more damage when they try to remove it.
Yeah, they have to cut it out.
Yeah, I've heard that too. So if you, in an SHTF situation, if you are using that is a, worst case, hey, we've got to do this, we've got to get this done. Because you're going to have to do things afterwards. Like Jammer talked about earlier, then what? You're going to have to do things afterwards. I think Cellox might be the same way, but not quite as bad. Again, like I said, I'm not an expert on the hemostatic gauzes, but
I do think I like the gauze idea better than the powder, the granules.
Yeah, and they stopped making those because those did burn.
Mm.
Yeah, those did cause more damage, and that was a while ago. They stopped using that stuff. So, Denise said something's better than nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would, unless it was uh, absolutely 100%. Holy crap! I can't get this to stop, or this is huge. um, yeah, I would not want to do that, which sort of leads me to I want to get to the sutures real quick, and then we've got to do a little bit of tinfoil hat time before we get out of here. But I wanted to, instead of sutures, I wanted to show everybody what happened to the zip. Oh, you've got these things which are kind of cool. These little stitches, and you got these. I think one of your doctors gave you this one, but they also have the zip stitch as well, which are smaller. But not everything is about putting sutures in it, right? Not everything. It's not always learning how to suture something. There's a lot that goes into suturing,
Yeah.
other than just close it up and cross your fingers.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've tried. I haven't tried suturing, but I have. One of the doctors let me put staples in a patient's foot. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be, but by the end, I got it. I was good at it, but it was not just like boom, 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 done. It was a lot more challenging, but I would use these over sutures any day. And actually, there are some doctors that use these zip stitches instead of using steri strips or skin glue, because these you can actually, they have like a little, I don't know if you can see the end, you can determine how tight you want to bring the edges of the incision together. So this one would go, or the cut. So this one would go on one side of the cut or incision. This one would go on the other side. And then you pull these little tabs on the end, and that will approximate or bring the edges together.
And this is, like I said, one of your doctors gave you this. This is for surgeries, right? Like a knee surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, or a, if you're in a sword fight, I suppose you might need that in an SHTF situation.
I don't know that I would. Honestly, I don't know. And that's one thing that I'm not a fan of, suturing like open wounds, dirty wounds
in the field. Yeah.
In the field, or if something happened, and that happens a lot, that actually even I get to see when people have gone to the emergency room and they had an injury and they had like a laceration and just like popped everything open, then the ER sutures it, but they don't even, the sutures that they're using, they really shouldn't be suturing it, because some of them will pull through. That like the suture will actually pull through the skin, so then they've got like their skin is cut from the suturing, but then they've closed whatever was foreign into the wound, and then they get an infection.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, and then we'll get into, I'll let you demonstrate the steri strips. But Kenzie asked, how much, this is a really good question, how much backup in the medical bin do you recommend for a small family, for Band-Aids, gauze, pressured bandages, etc.? I think gauze, you can never have enough, right?
My opinion, yeah. Anything like rolled gauze, or compressed gauze, 4x4 gauze, I don't think you can have enough, because it doesn't really go bad. Even let's say that they say that on the label it said it's expired, I would still use it in an emergency situation. I'm not looking for something sterile. I just want something clean so I can keep the wound covered. I don't think you can have enough.
I've got a couple more expired battle dressings that I'm not going to.
Yeah, don't open them. Keep them.
This one may be as well. This one's 2030, so this
one's good.
Yeah, this one's new.
What is it? Says 2022 is when it was made, and 2030 is when it expires. That's pretty awesome.
Okay, so I just want to show everyone these steri strips, because it's something you hear about all the time, but you don't really see, or it's not something you see getting done all the time. So I'll let you just sort of show me how they work. And I suppose if you need to write on me with a Sharpie, you can.
Oh, look, here's your wound, Dale. Let me give you a surgical incision. There you go.
That's going to be on me for days now.
Yep. So there's Dale's surgical incision. I just took out all of his stitches, so I'm going to put some
stab
steri
wound
strips on him.
There's a stab wound I got from defending the family in an SHTF situation. Ain't no surgical. It's not The Walking Dead, Lisa.
I could do surgery if it was The Walking Dead.
Why are you cutting it in half?
Trust
Come on, Lisa. You don't know what you're doing.
So the reason I cut it in half is because now I have 2 sets of steri strips out of the same package.
Okay.
You don't need, I don't need them to be that long for this wound. So,
I was just testing you. I knew that.
excuse me. So what I would also like to put on the sides after I know all the bleeding has stopped, I would put some mastazole on either side because mastazole is sticky. You can also use the benzoin. And so put some benzoin or mastazole on either side, pat it with a 4x4. Where'd my 4x4 go? Oh, here, we'll just use this. Here, I'm going to pat you with this is my 4x4. I've patted him. He's not bleeding anymore. So with the steri strip, since I cut it down the center, I have 2 now.
If you go, hold on a minute.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh.
Okay.
So he was getting some mastazole. Do you really want me to put this on you?
No, I just wanted you to
Okay.
show everyone what you're talking about with mastazole.
So mastazole comes in these little like ampules, and you just break it, or you squeeze it, and that breaks the inner lining, and then it comes out through the top.
Sort of got it like a beeswax type of consistency, right?
It's definitely like it's sticky, and if you let it dry for a little bit, and then you can just kind of fan it, it'll be perfect because it'll be really sticky, and then you can just take the steri strips. Most people would just take the steri strips and put them down on one side. Then you can just pull it to the other side. But what I like to do is I don't want to cover the entire opening with steri strips. So I want to leave space in between. And the reason I want to leave space in between is if there's any drainage, any yucky stuff, I want that to be able to come out. If it can't come out, it's going to get trapped under the steris and it's just going to macerate the skin, and then you'll have a bigger problem. But I also
Hence stitches.
Yes, and I also like to pull opposite when I'm putting the steris on.
So one you're pulling this way, one
And
you're
one
pulling
I'm pulling
that way.
this way. So then that's kind of bringing those edges together a little bit tighter. And
Yeah.
when you use the mastazole or benzoin on the sides, this it's like water resistant, so you can take a shower and that's not going to affect the steri strips.
Yeah. So my point is there's just options for sutures. Now there are some wounds, maybe that's the only option, but it shouldn't be every single thing that happens. You just automatically go to suturing because you took a class.
Yeah. But see, now I've got extra steri. So if he had a bigger cut or a wound or an incision, then I have twice as much from one package.
Okay, so I think we're done with all that stuff. Let's what do you have for tinfoil hat time?
I don't have my tinfoil hat, but
That's too bad I don't have a little AI thing because I could totally give you a tinfoil hat.
I would love to have, because then we could do like different ones. I could have like horns or just a regular one.
Yeah.
But okay. So for my tinfoil hat time, so I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news, how they're talking like the mass media people or what.
Real quick, Into the Wilderness is here. I just wanted to say hi. He said Dale cut the back of his hand shaving.
Yeah, yes, that's it.
It's the knuckles. and the feet too. Anyway,
but the mass media or the propaganda TV is telling everybody really there's this huge increase in bird flu, and I'm sure you guys have heard that, or you've just seen it reported.
Chickens, yeah, don't eat chicken.
Well, and chickens they have to kill all the chickens, and then something happens with other animals, and they have to kill all of those animals. But the bird flu thing seems to be really big, and they're just planting the seed. At least that's the impression I get right now, because now apparently bird flu can get into chickens, duh, but cows. So apparently cows can now have and carry avian flu and transmit it, because apparently there was some cows that got the bird flu and then they died. It was at a dairy farm, I think in Texas. Don't quote me if I'm wrong because I don't know exactly. But then supposedly it was like a raw milk farm. So they let the cats drink the raw milk, and supposedly all these cats got sick and died, and they had bird flu as well. So not only are they going after the cows, they're doing the scare tactics again as far as like a new problem that's on the horizon, aka the next pandemic.
Setting the stage.
Setting the stage, exactly. And so we all know what they've been talking about as far as bugs, and we're going to eat bugs and peasant food. Well, this just kind of fits right into it. And then they're also talking about how with the wild meat, so deer, moose, elk, they all have this chronic wasting disease now, supposedly. So you don't want to eat any of that because those have prion. That is caused by prions, which gets into your brain, and you can't get rid of prions. If you have prions, you can't get rid of it. That's you're toast, and it does affect your brain. It's totally neurological. But that's what happened back in the 90s. I think it was in the 90s in the UK, and with mad cow disease. And how that started was they were feeding cows ground up dead cows, cow crap, chicken crap. That's what they were feeding the cows that they would turn into hamburger. So no wonder stuff like that happened. But so now I just think that they're going to get rid of all the cows, and the cows fart too, so they're bad.
Yeah, and like Jammer said right here, intro to the fake meat.
Exactly. Yep.
So you've got the insects, and I can't remember what company it was. Some fast food place just had a contract with a insect like ingredient, not necessarily selling crickets or anything, but almost like the ground up. I mean, who knows what's
cricket meal, cricket flour is what they're calling it.
And we're sort of getting weaned into that, the lab grown meats.
Yes.
The cows farting and the animals just terrible for you. It's terrible for the environment.
You know where they get the cells for the lab grown meat, right?
From cancer cells.
Yes.
From the animals. Yeah.
So I'm going to have a cancer burger. Yum.
Melanie just mentioned too the push for 3D printed meat. I just saw something, I can't remember if it was on Twitter or where it was, but of them basically 3D printing meat, and they made steaks, little cubes that look like steaks, and you broke it open and it had the same sort of tendons.
That is so creepy.
That's where we're going.
Yeah, but can you see how they're just like you said, they're setting the stage. They're throwing those little things out there that that meat, I don't know if you're going to want to eat it because you could get, mad cow disease and you could get avian flu. And so, we're going to have to get rid of all of the cows. We're going to have to get rid of all the chickens, and you can't eat the eggs because, that could have the flu in it as well, the bird flu. So no chickens, no eggs, no cows, no deer, no elk, no moose. So what do you have left? You have cancer burgers, or you get cricket meal,
or like David said, Soylent Green eventually.
Exactly. That's exactly what's
the end
happen.
game.
It's really disturbing that you can look and see, you can almost see their playbook of what these people behind the scenes, and I don't know who those people are. That's what they're doing.
It's all about the money, because as soon as McDonald's can be more profitable using lab grown meat, as soon as some company can become, just uber rich by making lab grown meat, as soon as all this becomes profitable, it's going to be shoved into the mainstream, whether we like it or not. And it's not like the stupid veggie burgers or whatever, the incredible burgers or something like that. It's just completely nasty.
Well, yeah, but
I guarantee you this will taste. I mean, the implications beyond the fact that it may taste just like meat that's what scares me.
Yeah.
Is, and even now they're putting the V word. This is YouTube, so I got to be careful, but into meat and things like that, or it's possible to distribute that other than just taking a shot. So
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Which there's another conspiracy theory that I've heard about that has to do with that, but I can't talk about it on here because of YouTube,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But if you listen to Clyde Lewis, you'll know because he talked about it a couple days ago, and it was very interesting.
That is unfortunately the world we live in these days.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to do tinfoil hat time every week and it was game on?
Oh, I was like off the chain.
Yeah. And it's not like we're stating anything to be absolute fact. Go look it up. You think for yourself and all that. But these days, it's insane. But I will bet you that it becomes something that is sort of mainstream, where you know how now we get talked about being conspiracy theorists for this or that, the anti-vaxxers and things like that. In I don't know how long, maybe even less than a decade, it's going to be what you're one of those people that won't eat the lab grown meat.
Do you remember when I was one of those people and you were a naysayer and used to laugh at me all the time?
I don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
Lisa.
I remember.
Yeah. And now I've gone down the rabbit hole.
You drank my Kool-Aid, Dale.
Well, it's not necessarily that, but it is, but it's also the more you see these things happen time and time again, and the more you get told, no, that's a bunch of BS. And then all of a sudden that narrative changes to, well, it's not all BS, but still, and then the narrative changes to, well, we thought it was a bunch of BS and we were just being careful. So,
and then it changes to, we told you that in the beginning. No, that's fine. Yeah. Everything's fine.
What are you talking about, you crazy conspiracy theorist? We knew that all along.
Chemtrails. Psh.
Yeah. Look on Wikipedia. It says it right there.
Yeah.
Which, don't get any of your information on Wikipedia unless you're trying to figure out, the route to Mount or who's on Mount Rushmore or something mundane like that. But don't.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's true. They could lie. They could be. Yeah, they could. But Wikipedia is horrible. Yeah, Wikipedia is in lockstep with all these misinformation, disinformation websites, NewsGuard, and thing like that. So. At any rate, yeah, it's pretty interesting. It'll be, I don't know if fun is the right word. I'm trying to think of a different adjective.
Like, pretty interesting. I think it's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying might be a good adjective.
Yeah,
because I think it's one of those inevitabilities that is just coming down the line because they are so successful at pushing this narrative that. And people just buy along because people are people, right? They're the farting cows.
Yeah.
And they just go along hook, line, and sinker until it just becomes, you say a lie enough and it becomes the truth. And I think that's where we're headed. And as soon as money can be made, a bunch of money can be made, and something like that is profitable, I guarantee you it's getting pushed out.
Yep.
And it will get accepted
by the masses.
Yeah, even if they have to sell it dirt cheap to begin with to get people to try it and then get used to it. Yeah. So Jammer said, yeah, seriously, they sell Soylent Green protein shakes at Walmart. Yeah.
That's, oh my God, that is.
I don't know
so
that.
Wrong.
Yeah. The person that decided, the marketing department that decided Soylent was a good name for their company or their product was, maybe they haven't seen that movie, the 1972 movie.
Or maybe they have.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe it was intentional. Denise said, Lisa, visit more often. You've been missed.
Oh, thank you, Denise. Yep. I miss you guys too.
Yeah, there's a few people that have said that. You just got such a busy schedule. It's hard to fit your own things in, let alone just sitting down with me and doing a video.
Well, we need to do it more often because it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
I got to make sure you're telling people the right things too.
Yeah.
I got to keep you in line.
All right. Well, I think we are done here today. We need to go eat. We haven't eaten yet. And I want to do that. Just wanted to show that first aid kit.
Did you want a cancer burger?
No, I'll make my own. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. That's another reason to stock as much meat as you can, because you just never know. It's going to be worth the price of gold, that actual real meat. So at any rate, everyone, I appreciate you all joining in today. Everyone in the chat. Nice seeing some of the people I haven't seen in a while, some of the new people as well. But until next time, take care and prepare. We will talk to you all later.
Goodbye.